but our map veto. So let's take a look at that. Remind you that we have taken away the system where if you played one map in the previous playday, you cannot play it in the next one. The auto bans is out. However, we still have a 7-map pool, and there's Kafe Dostoevsky being played. This time, it's theme park banned by Chaos.
Yeah, it's interesting considering they were the team, the first team here in Europe to bring that out and win on it, doing quite well. So Kafe instead going to be the choice. And it was interesting that it's Chaos banning theme park themselves, obviously not wanting to take G2 to it. And also after seeing G2's performance on Coastline last week, that was their first ban. So I guess not terribly unexpected there. Kafe, though, could be interesting depending on how the bans go. We've seen, for example, Latin America trying to bring Cali pretty consistently when there was a Thatcher ban there. Interesting things like that. We have seen mining also become a little bit more played, I think, this second half of the season. So definitely some possibility to see that there. I think Kafe's overall rounded out to be a pretty good map where, you know, it used to just be completely dominated by bar. Now it's a bit more spread out in the bomb sites, and I think that's made it more interesting to watch, especially with more variety of bans coming in, especially on the hard breachers, whether it be Habana or Maverick, things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those op bans go and how that might actually shape things up, especially if G2 does any target banning on Chaos. G2 does more target banning than a lot of other teams in EU.
Yeah, I mean, I think the operator bans is definitely going to have a big effect on all of this. I mean, the biggest talk so far has been, you know, Goyo and how Mossy Mute also kind of ties into how Goyo is. And then you're adding Jaeger and, you know, Whammy, as when we've been calling him. Like, this 5-man or 5-operator lineup is so tough to break on a map like Kafe. We've seen it even in Latin America over the past week. You know, this is just not an easy, and in North America actually, this is just not an easy combination of operators to break through. It becomes a big utility dump, even though the strategy is still, you have to destroy important utility for the defenders. It seems like we're getting to a point where there's maybe a bit too much, where we're turning this into the quote-unquote 20-second meta, as some people are calling it. Definitely not the Vitality meta, because it's a completely different playstyle, as people don't quite remember that. But still.
Yeah, Vitality is more about roam clear. This is more about utility clear.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the old Vitality playstyle is just stare into a wall for 2.5 minutes and then move on. But this now is time for us to see what people think watching from home. So again, you can vote on these matches, who you think is going to take the W for the day on social media. So go off and check out twitter.com/ESL Rainbow 6. 89% for G2. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of faith into G2 lately, and I think there's definitely a strong chance they could pull ahead on this. But like I said, Chaos beat them before. Sometimes they're just exactly what G2 are not prepared for, it seems. So, but then again, like, if they are just turning into the super team of all fraggers, there's only so much you can do to really prep for that. If it's not necessarily strategies you can start to look and do to counter strat, and it's more just, we've got to win the aim game, you can't rely on that as a counter strat. So that could be a problem for Chaos today. We'll see,
honestly, I'm not sold on this whole, I know it's a meme and it really gets into people's heads, but I'm not sold on this whole idea of G2, like, yeah, they're no brain, all aim, and that's about it. It's infecting a lot of people that are just viewing all of this and, memeing around, but in reality, it's not the case. Look at these players that have a lot of experience, that have a lot of people around them and support staff that guide them through all of this. And these are people that know their stuff. It's not like they're just walking around gunning people down. That's obviously part of it, but there's so much more that comes into it that G2 is actually doing. They're doing the support role. They have flex players actually doing their job. You have a lot of droning, a lot of information gathering, a lot of commitment into pushing, securing a kill once you have the information. This is a cohesive and coordinated team. So I know it's really funny, haha, meme. This is like the Tachanka meme, if certain subreddits, but this is the R6 Pro League subreddit meme right now, which is, oh, G2 only gunners. It's not true. They're playing you. G2, I know I'm up to your tricks. They're playing you, and G2 are definitely not just a frag heavy team.
Yeah, I especially think of Pangu and Uno for that. Both of them play very flexible in terms of which operators they'll jump onto as needed, and I think that flexibility does help make sure it doesn't end up just being that all-aim, no-brain team. Plus, also, these are all super smart players. These guys have been around, like you said, for a long time. They've been on different squads. They know how to play a variety of ways. They just happen to have good aim on top of that, and I think that's maybe just what they were needing. Fabian, for example, would have some really hot days, and then days where he just wasn't hitting any shots. And then Pangu would be stuck in kind of this in-between role. Kanto was kind of having, I think, some issues for a while as well. Overall, we'll see if this team can kind of keep it up. But I definitely don't. I agree. I don't think this is the all-aim, no-brain team, but it certainly does help if they can all aim. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a first-person shooter. Even if there's a ton of tactical and strategic play on top of it, you need to be able to hit your shots. Otherwise, getting advantage doesn't really help you. But that being said, Chaos are tricky to deal with in that regard, in terms of, especially their defenses tend to be really good at surprising their opponents. We'll also see them be a team, for example, that can play really good Monty, something that I was saying I think probably should be seen a little bit more in terms of countering that utility meta that we were talking about before. I think it was Kix I was talking to about that during Latin America, saying that I think that would be a helpful solution. I know something that, for example, Reaper was pointing out as being good against the Mute Mozzie strategy, but I think overall, just the map control against the 20-second meta could really benefit from some rope clear and some early map control takes from Monty plays. And if any team's going to do it, I feel like Chaos is a team that could pull that off just because they can do that well. But G2 are also a team that will ban Monty against them.
I mean, they're also a team that uses Monty often when it's necessary, right? They're definitely not a team that shies away from using whatever strategy is available to get the victory. This is something that G2 struggled with, I guess, through certain parts of 2018, also early on in 2019, but now they've gotten into it where, like, the whole point is the W. And if it means we have to use all of this utility in front of us, then by God, we are going to use it and put it down and make sure we get it at the end. Because there's going to be a big fight at the top here in Europe, and it's not going to end anytime soon. So there's the first ban out. That's Hibana. Our second operator is Capital. So far, so good. As you talked about this before, Devin, you have to or on Kafe, you expect to have one Harbinger band, right? And Hibana, Thermite, Maverick, depends on what you want.
Yeah, the Hibana ban is always interesting because that means you're potentially dealing with just Thermite and Maverick, both operators that have to be in positions where they could potentially be C4'd depending on the bomb site they're attacking, so that definitely factors in. Maestro and Valkyrie going, though, means that Echo and Mira will both be in play, so definitely looking to see a little bit of those. I imagine played here, definitely some good Mira spots, like especially in Bar, pretty typical. You'll definitely see this. Echo as well has seen a lot of play on Bar. So if we start there first, I definitely think there's a good chance we see both of those. Could also see some Goyo play depending on the site. And it looks like Red Groove looking to bring it out possibly already. They are going to go to Bar, and Wamai he's getting played quite a bit. He's definitely made a great debut.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up going for him here. There's the Mira in play for Chaos. But yeah, I mean, Wamai is just so good. You can combine him with the Jaeger if you want. You can substitute one or the other. It's fine. Having both definitely works well with that Goyo metagame that we've been seeing. But here this is top floor. You just want to protect your Mira, and it makes a lot of sense now. The fact that the Hibana was banned, because this allows you to conserve the Mira, and she's not going to be sniped from across the map now. So it makes sense what Chaos have been preparing for.
Yeah, definitely going to get some good use out of these. With Mira in play and no Hibana too, it definitely becomes a lot trickier to try and take care of those Mira windows. At this point, obviously, there's quite a bit of utility being brought, because now Maverick also brings grenades. So him and Kanto on that bunker definitely be bringing those. There's also going to be some smoke from Pangu. That is probably the best bet to be able to deal with those Mira windows. If you can't take them out, is to smoke so that at least Shate can't see through the windows and give some kind of way to play this.
Now you see me, now you don't.
So there's a drone coming in here from the VIP corridor, checking around. G2 seem to want to come in from below, maybe pressure. We've seen this so many times where you bring the buck and you put him in reading and you clear from there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the strategy. But it seems like Citizen is in to come in from the reception area first. And he might be the one actually pressuring onto reading himself, which is fine. But in the meantime, Scanto poking up. Doesn't seem like there is anybody inside of reading, and I'm gonna keep mentioning this when it's a bar defense, that you want to take control of reading so you can push the defenders out of their hard points. You want to clear the mira, this is the way to do it. You can find all of this information very easily. And there's the holes that have been pre-opened by the defensive Chaos, and the Mira is watching right down. Shate, very well known for being an excellent Mira back in the day. Gonna get a spot there. He's gonna get pulled out. Nitrocell is gonna sail wide and will not connect. There's this fire all around him. And shooting into Pengu, dropping him down to around 75 HP. The buck has already popped him out of one Mira window and is continuing to pressure as Shate finally goes down.
Nicely done by Kanto. Not only gets the mirror, but also the window. Just good use of the buck. It doesn't even take any damage in the process. Pengu somehow did, but overall it still works out in their favor. However, Citizen falls in the meantime to Renewals. So that's the Wamai, pretty low in health. And much like we used to talk about Legion all the time, Wamai definitely gets stronger throughout the round. So he definitely wants to make sure he stays alive to get maximum utility out of those discs. But there goes another on G2. So now finally a man advantage here to Chaos.
They need some information here to time these grenades. And there is another one sailing off, hitting nothing. Actually, no, it does hit Renewals. It's very low on HP right now, the Wamai, but he's gonna find Virtue in the meantime. A 2K for him here. Smoke grenade is gonna be thrown out here by Pengu to cover G2's ascent up into sight. No, Kanto. Oh, no, I think that's Renewals who's able to escape and go all the way up back to sight. And default cam was finally gonna be destroyed. And there's the tracking. Wamai has just stepped in and is going to give you a couple extra pings as the Jackal. We're going to see this 2 more left, 3 in total, I believe. And the buck is going to continue destroying things from below. One more tag, and oh, Veto, the perfect moment to rush. He'll find one on Pengu, but there's 15 seconds left. You know Vito's down, but there's Red Groove secretly still at full HP. And Renewals, he might be low, but he can do work in Red Groove. Finds the headshot on Kanto Raketti. Chaos will take round number 1. And again, this is all off of G2 doing the right thing. It's just Chaos peaked them at the right moments.
Yeah, I mean, a big problem for G2 there was just being spread out. You saw no real trades happening from G2. They got a couple kills, but they were never really set up to trade. Kanto is the only one who's able to really accomplish all that much with the buck. It seemed like G2 were having trouble really pinning down any of the members of Chaos. Not being able to finish off the Wamai as well before he's able to get another kill onto Virtue. That was definitely a big problem, even hitting him with the nade, but I mean, they were getting their checklist somewhat done. They got plenty of Jackal scans. Buck was able to do his work from below. It was just the individual players of G2 continually getting caught off guard. And that is something that Chaos do really well, is their spread out defense tends to do a good job of really just isolating and catching out members that really aren't doing a good enough job getting the intel on them. So we'll see how well they defend the top floor now. They're going to be playing just below it in reading, but they're still going to have the mirror windows upstairs. So of course they're still going to be the Buck, but this time Buck can't easily go below to try and deal with that. They're going to have to pressure the bar heaven side to be able to make this work. There's no Hibana to open up the wall down there that you just saw in reading. Maverick could go for it, but it's risky to do it. And there's also no thermite being played. They're just sticking to the Maverick, but they also get the extra grenades for that. With utility the way it is, you kind of need those. It does kind of make me miss the thermite with grenades back in the day, in the early days before they took them away from them.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Well, another preparation here from Chaos.
Attackers have recovered their
So
diffuser.
we're not going to see mining, at least not for now. You mentioned it earlier that at least in North America, people do not shy away from the site. It's not super bad, but it's definitely not as convenient as going for reading and dining, right?
Yeah, definitely Latin America as well. We're trying it a fair bit, but I think we'll see it mostly just trying to surprise your opponents. Could come back into the meta here. Definitely more difficult site to defend in some respects. But they are going to pressure that mining dining area in terms of trying to get some pressure going in. In fact, they're looking fairly horizontal for their attack rather than going for the vertical play. Pushing very heavy, trying to take inside mining and then eventually train if they can. So that makes
grenade
could go for the push. Unfortunately, not well enough cooked.
I don't know.
Also might not be in a great position there.
I don't know if he's just right on top by the Christmas tree. Like maybe he was just a bit off the angle, but still, Citizen is going to take a lot of damage. Still finding Kafe very similar. It's a mirror to what we saw in the previous round so far, and actually pressure being put in from the back alley rappel here on east side directly towards this dining area, which is definitely unusual. So I wonder if G2 might be looking to push in with some smokes into sight, as Kento Rochetti's already made it in. He's just going to try to pressure into the back by White Stairs and just stick inside a train, as it is very difficult to push him out of there.
Well, doing a good job pressuring towards dining here, so if they can get some kind of top floor control or at least cover the rotate so they can't get back, that could be a problem. But the fact that they've got so much control in reading right there, they're able to pressure into the red hallway. That could be the biggest problem here for G2, is that they're not able to hold that back. There is also Echo with the yokai drones being brought this round, and that's going to be something they have to contend with on top of C4s when they try and go for the plant. This reinforced wall here actually working out really nice for Secretly to be able to play behind it, the middle of White Stairs, so that it's not fully exposed. And it also gives an opportunity here for him to rotate on those, at least the downward part of the stairs. Oh, there's a nice kill for Virtue, who's doing quite well this round.
There's the yokai drones being repositioned in the meantime. Red Groove's not pressured right now, and he's still playing inside of Piano. Grenade's gonna sail to the back, as, yeah, is it well timed? Yes, it is. Perfect from Kanto onto Secretly, with 2 more left for Chaos. A good position for Veto to hold in the meantime, as he knows that the wall into dining is being opened up, and the Echo is trying to fight the top pillars. Kanto will get the Veto, and this is the site completely open. There's a ton of time. You can do whatever you want. There's a smoke as well, and well, they know where you're at. Can they find the yokai drone? Yes, it will be found and destroyed. Uno's checking, and there's another Echo drone being brought in. There's not enough time for this one. 1 more second. It's destroyed right on the cross, and it's all on to Red Groove. A Citizen is going to take him down from heaven. A flawless round for G2, as they picked off their opponents one by one. They didn't actually need to clear top down. Very, very odd to see, but that pick on Kafe early on was so important.
Yeah, that was an odd way to attack it in terms of just the common way to do it is usually you're going to take the top floor and you're going to pressure more from the White Stairs side onto dining if you're going to be going for that dining push, or generally it's going to be onto reading. So I really like to see that from G2. They go from a loss on their attack to a flawless round because they just take such a different strategy. And Kanto has been the star to me so far, doing such a great job. He even is the one to go for the plant, but that nade, that was the big deal. Getting that mute out of the White Stairs position he was using to defend dining with just a well-timed nade, taking advantage of the fact that he's hiding behind that wall. Just really well done. I mean, I really like to see all this work come out from Kanto. I mean, he's doing such a great job on Buck overall. They don't really need to change his lineup because it's working really, really well. Also, Citizen and Virtue, some great pickups that round. We'll see how things go for Kitchen, though, as Chaos doesn't have to change bomb sites, but they're going to try this instead. So we'll see if this works out a little bit better. It's good to see that some people are still playing Lesion, although I think depending on how you're going to play it, he definitely has some weaknesses now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same. The weakness is basically just in comparison to what he was in the near past, right? It was just so strong. You're able to see where all your mines were. Now, mid line of sight and a certain distance. It's something that puts him more in the realm of balanced, but for people that are very much used to playing him in the past, it's a bit weird to adjust to. At least it is for me. Then again, I'm not a pro player by any means, so there we are. There's a peek early on, and nothing will be found from top Piano, and G2 are preparing for their assault. Again, taking top down, making sure that you're using your soft destruction. And that was so close here. Uno taking damage. He spots the leg. And he's going to force player Chaos back. Not too sure who that was, but taking control of train here and mining is the most important part of this assault, and using up your soft destruction for it.
Well, how good a job Kanto's been doing on the horizontal and upwards pressure. Hopefully he can do equally well fighting downwards, because it is difficult sometimes to find players inside Kitchen once you have control of mining and train, and you're able to kind of start to put a lot of pressure down. If you don't find them, then it ends up being a lot of wasted time. That's the big deal, I think, in terms of teams losing this attack very often. Most teams actually spend a lot of time trying to get the bakery side of things, but it doesn't seem to be G2's strategy, and maybe that'll work out in their favor. But again, they've got to speed things up a little bit. They don't want to be in a 20-second meta. You saw, for example, much better push last time. There is the Echo and the Legion. There's no Wamai, though, to at least eat up utility. So they will have the ability to get those nades downwards, after dealing with Jaeger's ADSs. So that could be a big deal, but they've got to get this control relatively soon here, we say within the next 30 seconds of the middle floor.
They're still waiting for info. Grenade will bounce around, and this is going to allow the Buck to walk in. They have a tag, and Uno will confirm the kill on Veto. So well done there, but you need to start destroying those floorboards ASAP, and there he is. This is the advantage of having the op with the soft destruction. But Red Crew, with the perfect moment, it's going to walk in and find the kill on Pengu. The Fuser's down on the floor, and Renewals will get another as he just fell back off the top floor. And Uno is going to go down. Big advantage now for Chaos as we hit the 50-second mark. Two important operators have been dealt with. No way to track, to deal with the roamers. You don't have Gridlock, you don't have Nomad, so you're only relying on the Jackal in this time. And well, now there's still an Echo left, and you lost your IQ, and there's reinforcements around you. Your only heart breacher is going to be pressed for time, to say the least. So G2 might just be looking for a push in. As you saw the Buck just open up the freezer, this might be the moment to go.
Well, they're going to try the grenade strategy again here as they've got to jump into barbed wire. They're not going to have time to do any kind of hard breaching as 14 seconds remain. The bar itself here going to be well defended.
Well, the fight from the Ashes. Kanto finally will find Renewals. 6 seconds left. You have to take that goo mine out before you go in and plant. Are you going to have enough time? Nope. There's one. There's two. That is all on Citizen. No time left. This Chaos will find yet another round. Stalling so much.
Such a great play from Red Groove, though. The push up the white stairs to kill Pengu. That will really just... They spent all that time taking control of the middle floor. They did manage to get the one kill in reading, which was actually great that he was able to hold out as long as he was. And then just that push up. Such an unexpected play for an Echo, of all things, to push up for a partial retake, get the kill, and then peel off. That really just shook their entire defense. Obviously, that wasn't the only kills. He did follow it up with at least a second kill towards the end as well. So, great. I mean, I don't always applaud aggressive Echo plays. I think sometimes it could be a mistake, but that was well read by him.
So what's the plan here for G2? Looks like they're bringing the same operator lineup.
Attackers need to locate
and we're going to go back up to bar. Okay. In this case, you can bring the Jackal again. It's fine. This is selected by G2 knowing what's going on. On this bar site, there were no real flanks from Chaos, but it's just G2 failed to actually just enter on the site itself. You pressured Chate, you took him out, but then somehow Chaos just went back into the A-bomb site and played in it and stayed there with one player. Dealing with these Goyer shields might be difficult because you're not bringing in Zofia as well, and instead of bringing the Wamai, we're going to see Renewals bringing that Jaeger. So very much vanilla as things can be nowadays. And I think this might be a bit of a problem to deal with. You see the mute jammers everywhere. I really am curious as to how G2 will try to enter into piano, because in the first round we played, we focused a lot on Kanto when he was doing. I want to see how everything else is working.
This is an interesting angle here. He's actually looking to fire upwards, possibly if there's anyone playing inside the new drop balcony area. A nice use of Maverick to take care of castle barricades as well, something we don't see very often in Pro League here. So at least they're getting some use out of Virtue's Maverick play. I was going to say could also get the hatch, but then Scout and Key will take care of that. I got to wonder, though, this time, are they going to focus as much on taking that middle floor and pressuring from below? Or it looks like Kanto's going to put a lot more effort into helping on the top floor take instead, knowing that, of course, that Chaos are going to be possibly a little bit more prepared for some pressure from underneath. Veto, though, in a tough position to get, they're just going to have to clear out the ADS. You can see one behind the couch there. They should be able to do so as they don't have to deal with Lumai this time.
Yeah, there's the castle trying to hold on. You have the shield. You don't have to be picking it yourself. Yeah, and it's going to just fall back. You can use the shield again as a mirror window pretty much. And just keep on peeking behind it. You're just afraid that a grenade might catch you off guard, even though there's an ADS being clear right now, but once that's gone, there's the charge and the shield should go down. No, that was towards the castle barricade. Okay, so the grenade should be the thing that takes out that Goyo shield, and you see veto again has fallen back. He's trying to use those tight angles inside a bathroom and freezer to, or stock that is, to fight against anybody in piano, and this is really slowing G2 down. They can't deal with that meetup. The Hibana ban is perfect. It's exactly what Chaos needed.
Yeah, this is really slowing them down here, and they're not going to be sitting there with Maverick in the room. Nice kill on Citizen. That's definitely going to hurt things, but he was the entry frag action. It's not a huge loss here. There might be more fire from that Goyo shield as well on top red. Nope. Nice kill by Virtue.
Right on top of those red stairs. Vito's still in the washroom right now. And another mirror window. You might be thinking, oh, these mirror windows are so cool. Yeah, these are like the most basic mirror windows on this map, but they work so well. And now there's no real way to deal with them because you don't have that all-important Hibana. Smoke's gonna come out as Shate will find Kanto on a quick peek. Smoke's gonna delay the push, or at least delay the information from Chaos. There's no nitro cell to use, but oh, from behind, Uno's gonna get the kill on the meetup. I was just expecting somebody peeking out from that
15 seconds left.
Fashion. Virtue will find one as Renaults will get the second, and Red Groove onto Virtue, clearing out Cigar. Uno dives on in to the welcoming arms of death of Renaults. That's all done. Chaos again holding on to this top floor so well, and it's these mirror windows, they're just giving so much info.
It's definitely a tough thing for them to deal with. There was also even, speaking of information, that bulletproof camera that was inside Christmas or Piano the whole time. It seemed like, I'm not sure if they ever dealt with it, gave a lot of good intel on how the push might be coming from some different sides. Obviously, doesn't see everything, but it's definitely helpful to give a heads up that you need to be on those mirror windows because someone's pushing through Cigar, for example. So overall, like, they were able to do a great job of just rebuffing a lot of that attack. There was the diffuser going down. Pengu almost managed to get it down before dying. That could have really changed the roundup had he been able to stick that. I liked the flank as well from behind onto the heaven side of things. Had he been able to get the 2 kills over there, for example, I think that might have made a huge difference because then if needed, Uno would have been able to make that swing in at the very last kind of desperate play there at the end. But as you said, the mirror windows really just hurting them so much here. A capped out probably would have helped because they would have been able to smoke a little bit easier. But the fact that they weren't even dealing with them, but just didn't seem to have the utility to be able to clear everything out very quickly, definitely seemed like a problem for them. They really were just taking their time. Okay, well, this is how we're going to take out this shield. This is how we're going to take out this castle barricade. I understand they were trying to be careful, but it just kind of came down to the wired gunfights that were just really in Chaos's advantage.
It's so interesting and cool to see Chaos doing the way that they are because they're really outplaying G2 in these rounds so far. They're able to put themselves in really good positions. They're playing the defense. Like, Kafe gives you a bit of an advantage as the defenders. It's not as huge as Clubhouse or as Villa. But still, you know, 3 rounds on defense on Kafe is a pretty good start. You can get a 4th one, that's huge. Chaos should be sitting pretty after it as we head closer and closer to our second half. G2 again on the rappel like every single round, and don't be met with the same setup. A Red Groove, though, will find Uno, and I don't know where he was actually able to take him out. Was it? I don't know if it was through Skylight or on one of the windows. No, it looks like one of the windows. So yeah, that's a pretty big kill here when they're running an Echo, and he's the one slapping you back as the IQ.
He's definitely, again, just playing very aggressive. They're able to take out Renaults with a good grenade. Kanto's definitely been on top of those grenades, and that will help a little bit, but that's just the Jaeger. They really need that kill. Oh, nice flank there as well from Vito, just seemingly unread by Kanto, not prepared for someone to push out. That's what Chaos is doing well here. Every time they have an opportunity on G2, someone's isolated, they're moving for the position and getting the kill. And G2 doesn't seem to be doing a great enough job working together as a team in terms of trades or flank coverage.
Yeah, I wanted to say that Kanto's channeling his inner Kobe, but Kobe would have had a bit more game sense in that situation. Unfortunate, but yeah, now you lose 2 important operators. Secretly C's taken a lot of damage in the meantime. Grenade out! And Red Groove is going to be able to fall back. How is he still alive? No, there you go. That's Vito down. And another grenade will sail out to confirm the kill. There you go. There's Vito down. So now a 3v3. Shot is watching for anybody walking into pillars. He knows that this is the play from G2 as Ash will push into train. Shate still holding on. I'm not sure if there's any drones to give the info here, as you see G2 still have one more drone left, and it's in the back pocket of Citizen. It has not been deployed yet. So he's going to need to use that to give his team some info, because right now Shate is ready and he's going to fire and win the gunfight against Virtue, taking some damage. And I think it's going to be followed finally by Citizen. A 2v2 with a health advantage for G2 at 40 seconds in, and you still have some yokai drones to play. Secretly, he's already used all of his gas canisters. And Pengu knows what's up. He's firing down. They're trying to fire onto the back. But there's Pengu, finally secretly. The Echo's gonna drop down. He has a yokai out. And it's not in position. And the Red Groove is gonna abandon it. It's Pengu rotating in as Citizen is watching, still inside of dining. Up in the main corridor. There's a small hole being used to G2's advantage. And Pengu, ADSing all the way down the hallway, is gonna find Red Groove. And the Echo might have been alive, but those yokais were just not in position.
Yeah, I understand. He obviously had one sort of a bit farther away the last time they were trying to defend there, and that might have been that might have been the secondary yokai as opposed to the primary one that might have already been killed. And so, it's a bit of a bummer, but it was good to see G2 punishing some of that aggression finally. They also did a good job getting it down to that 3v3 with still about a minute and a half left. It was definitely much better time management. G2 are trying to get through the checklist as quick as possible, and that's part of the reason they're getting punished on individual plays in terms of flank coverage. So it's good to see the Nomad come out here. That is, I think, a smart choice, because the Jackal's not necessarily doing a whole lot to stop Chaos from being able to play aggressively when they see the opportunity, and they're not really being punished for it as quickly. Having the air jabs here, I think, will make a little more security for G2 to be able to continue to push forward on their objectives without having to worry as much about their back. But that's assuming that Penguin gets those air jabs up in a prompt fashion here. So we'll see how things go for the second time onto Kitchen. Last time really went pretty poorly for G2.
Yeah, and why did that happen is because G2, first of all, it took them too long to clear the top floor, but they didn't piano down into train. Trying to take gunfights on the opposite end by the white stairs, and unfortunately the Buck was shot down, so that was a huge pick off, and then the Legion was still alive. G2, that is, could not find a solution to renewals, and this is why you see the Nomad being brought up by Pengu. But I have to question how things will go through this round so far, or at least in the early stages of it, because if you're not effectively clearing top down and making sure that you don't have to worry about those top floors or those floors above you as the round continues, then you're kind of failing at the job anyways, which is the reasoning behind the Nomad again. So this is the linchpin, this is the gimmick, and I hope for G2 that they actually use her and set her up correctly. A 3-3 at the half is definitely something you can come back from.
I do like to see that G2, though, are very focused on achieving their objectives as quickly as possible to avoid the 20-second meta. Sometimes that means leaving a good portion of the map uncontrolled, and the Nomad, as we said, is clearly what they need to make sure that that actually works more effectively. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is just if you can cover your flanks well enough on what you guys are doing in terms of taking that map control, then I think the strategy works out pretty well and has quite a few rounds, especially if they're getting some of these early picks or good grenades being well cooked from especially Kanto. Oh, 2 drones down. That's not a great start here. Red Groove, he finally gets droned again. What just aggressive echo play from him, though. He's really not focused on late rounds. He does take a bit of damage from a grenade as well, but kudos to Red Groove for just playing a really solid echo play, even if it doesn't always win the rounds.
I mean, look at it right now. G2 have lost a total of 6 drones, and it keeps getting worse. There's now 4 drones that are in the back pocket of G2 that haven't been deployed yet, so you're going to need those as the round progresses, which is why G2 are keeping them in their pockets for that moment. It makes sense, but you're kind of starved for info, and you have to push into your opponents. Finally, Citizen's going to confirm the kill on Shate with some help from Pengu. And that's well done. That's the intro that you needed. You push into the site, but look at where Secretly is. He's preparing for an extra gas canister. Might be able to find one here, but they're right around the corner. He's gonna get one kill on a Pengu, dropping him down in the middle of the bakery. Another drone being lost, and another smoke canister down. Citizen's gonna be popped and taken away. Double kill for Secretly, and a third canister is gonna go off. Uno won't take any damage in the meantime, but this is giving a lot of space for Chaos. They still have the smoke playing solo. Actually, now has the Legion in support, as G2 will lose one more player. Uno, so low on HP, but Kanto Raketti is going to slap down Secretly. But Kanto has so far forgetted his drones, and they're not being used. Kind of going in blind. Those are the last two left.
It's looking possible for G2 if they could just bait players out, but the man advantage on Chaos. This is looking very hard. Very difficult to come back even with that kill from Kanto.
For the Yokai drone, this is the question. How much time is left? A pre-fire from Veto. And it's a good thing he's using the commando. It's 0-0 time. Nitro will go out. And, well, the IQ's already gotten off the plant. Chaos. So strong in the half here on defense. 4-2. Man.
I feel like that's where Chaos shines, though. So things could definitely change here in the second half.
I agree.
But overall, like, just some great individual plays on Chaos, really making a lot of these rounds. In that round, it was definitely the player secretly behind the bakery counter as smoke, just holding out forever. And without the Capitao, they just didn't seem to have anything they could really do to get anything on the other side of that counter to take care of him. And that's been a struggle for a lot of teams. A lot of times it's just killing a really good player who's hanging out behind that bakery counter is so difficult without the utility to do it.
So Wamai and Jaeger is going to be brought out by G2. They're going to bring in the Mute, the Castle, and the Smoke. Chaos are going to bring the Nomad early, and renewals for the Twitch. I wonder if this is Chaos anticipating a Mira from G2 as Chaos played earlier, because right now, as far as I know, Goyo Shield are going to survive no matter what you do with the Twitch drone, right?
It will possibly help with the Wamai discs, though, and the Mute jammers, depending on the angles. So that is something they can use to clear some utility. But like you said, it might have been more so anticipating layer play. We saw Chaos doing exactly that multiple times, so, you know, we talked about it before. Teams like to kind of counter their own strategy, so that's definitely something to watch out for. Obviously, they've got to, you know, deal with whatever they're presented with the possible 6 picks, so I like the idea. We'll see if those shock drones are able to actually get the job done. That was the big thing.
Seems like I've lost both feeds.
Yeah, we may be down. Not sure.
Yeah, stream is down, but all our feeds are down. Yeah, let me check these actually. Oh?
So we're just waiting here till we get the feedback. Hopefully, we sort it out soon. Not sure if the stream is up for you guys to hear us.
Okay, so we're gonna try to get this sorted out. In the meantime, let's check our feeds.
That's the beauty. Swapping man. Magnet deployed. Swapping mags. You can worry less about the hits now.
15 seconds left. Attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, we've had some technical hiccups here as we lost our feeds, but hopefully we're back up and ready. We're going to get back into game here in Kafe. I don't know how far we were last.
Yeah, I don't know if people caught it. G2 did win the round that we were in the middle of, for those who missed. I don't know if it was ever back up in time or not.
Yeah, it was first defense round. I don't think it was shown on stream. We only saw it here. But yeah, we're at 4-3 currently. No, G2 didn't just get a free round. That's not how it works. But during the round, to say the least, G2 held really, really firm. And in the end, we just had, exchange of sites into A site because it was a bar defense. And then G2's kind of collapsed on the defenders, or on the attackers, excuse me. So it was done there. Red Groove was the last alive as a Nomad, and he got shot down. That was it.
Yeah, definitely could see a repeat of that in a future round, but now they've got to switch sites, so they're going to go down to Reading and sneak in a Goyo instead of the Mozzie. The Pulse is actually the first Pulse we've seen, I believe, as well in this match so far, coming out from Uno. So definitely playing a little bit of a different game, but I gotta imagine the Goyo at least is going to be upstairs for the top floor hold. Looks like it's taking everyone a second just to load the game because they all had, I imagine, restarted the game while they were waiting for the rehost to be set up. So hopefully we won't have another down because the internet has been in full meltdown today, so hopefully we'll be able to get through the duration of the match. Still loading, everyone. So no, the stream isn't frozen for those of you. You can see the little hourglass spinning at the top. Yeah.
Man, these players just need to get SSDs.
That's what it is. They're all it's all their hamsters. They're all sick. So it's just going to take a second to finish loading it in here. Hopefully everyone will get in okay. And we won't have any kind of drops.
Okay.
There we go.
Attackers
Everyone should be loaded, so we shouldn't have that again next round.
So unfortunately for everybody that missed, or pretty much everybody that missed that round number 7, G2 pulled out a strategy we've never seen before. It was something that was just out of the box, out of the blue. We'll never see it again probably in the history of Pro League. So I'm very sorry.
Literally can't describe it.
Yeah, basically. So you probably just missed the best moment in Pro League ever. So I'm sorry, it just randomly happens. I think just G2 were happy that since the stream was down and they didn't need to save strategies, because that's exactly what how things work for G2. Here they are now. They're defending inside of Reading and Dining. They're bringing Uno with the Pulse. We're gonna have Kanto on the Goyo, and I wonder who's gonna be playing upstairs. I like that double reinforcement inside of Dining. Just make sure that you you can't use your thermite effectively in that sort of setup. So I like that from G2, anticipating a push from Train.
It is interesting as well to see the thermite being brought out. We saw Maverick being brought out pretty consistently from G2, and it not really, honestly, helping them all that much. The thermite might be a better choice here. The secret leak can get some walls open, things like that, possibly even for Pillar's Wall and a Reading. It's risky to do, but oh, nice try there. Shatsig almost catching the head. So far, though, no damage dealt to anyone, but a lot of close engagements, very early, aggressive pushback from G2. Manages to get quite a bit of damage on to Veto, but even more so on Uno, and that's their Pulse. With 3 C4s available, they really want to keep him alive. So that was a bit of a risky thing for him to be doing.
I completely agree there. And now Chaos are just walking up. There's Nitro Cell. Okay, maybe trying to catch somebody off in trains, but that was just not the play. And I wonder if the defenders now at G2 know that there's 2 players coming up the staircase. There's a Nomad also right outside of the windows. Drone will come in and will give the Ash some info. Red Groove's going to find Virtue as he dives right out of the window. And there's another flashbang here to allow the Ash to walk up closer. Citizen will take down 1, but the Goyo will be followed by Renewals. The Ash is in. The sites are pretty much handled and open, and it's a 4v3. Uno's low in HP, and Citizen needs to get down those stairs. Oh, so close to catching Fido on the run-in, but he just Zoidberged his way onto site and holding on to Laundry Hatch. Diffuser's going to be planted. 2 more seconds, 1 more second. Secretly is going to save the day, and G2 are going to have to dive into the welcoming arms of Chaos. You can't do much. No nitro cells left, no nothing, and yeah, this is completely different than the round that we had before from G2. Saving all the strats for this one is, of course, this is now back on stream. Secretly is down on the floor, but will it really matter? Pengu is the finisher. Uno's still low on HP. And oh no, the Ash is gonna miss every shot. Pengu's coming in onto Renault's. Can he stick to the diffuser? Shate though will find Uno, turning the corner, pre-firing into the mutant. Shate will find one on Pengu. And there's Chaos getting the round 5-3.
Definitely Chaos showing that they're much better at stopping that sort of aggressive pushback defense that they were using. G2 just trying to do a similar idea and it really not working. They were getting punished left and right. Unfortunately for Pengu, Uno wasn't able to defend him at the end of the round there, because had he been able to stop Shate or at least slow him down, that actually might have been salvageable by Pengu. Great attempt by him. Good retake of reading. But overall, Chaos looking very much in control here. 5-3 right now. I strong possibility, Chaos could pull this off. And I was going to go for a prediction for Chaos for today in the caster predictions out there, but I figured, it's new G2. They've got 2 new members. Play might be very different. They might be able to pull this off. I don't know anymore. This looks like G2 falling to Chaos kind of as usual.
Look, it's Monday, right?
True.
G2 usually, for lack of better term, do I want to say the bad word? No, I'm just gonna say the PG rated one. They don't play good. It'd be no good on Mondays. So yeah, here we are again, and it seems like this is something that everybody loves to milk as well. One of those memes, Pantero isn't casting. It means that G2 are gonna lose. Biased caster, haha. In this case, it might actually be true. So
interesting to see the lineup in terms of secondary gadgets. So we saw 3 C4s last round. Now we've got 2 shields, 2 impacts, well 4 impacts really, and barbed wire. So it's a very different setup, and C4 can be very useful on this bomb site as well, because there's a lot of places you can huck it from, whether it's the walls open or even over top of the prep wall, so people trying to get into bakery. So it's interesting to see that they're not bringing any at all, and actually even going with the Legion. So I don't know if I agree with this lineup. Citizen already getting punished heavily again. Just G2 cannot seem to get away with these early bits of aggression the way the Chaos did.
So there's the wall completely open for G2 to try to come in from Garage. Grenades might be flying in at any moment here from Veto as he's checking dining, and there's nobody peeking from there. He needs his teammates to confirm it. I don't know if conforming's... Oh, there's G2 conforming to the strategy. It's going to find Veto, and we'll be down in the meantime inside of the second pit here, the celebration area, the Christmas tree. There's so many of them around the map here. And the wall is completely open. This allows rotations, but usually you should be playing like a double shield around this, but there's a shotgun around the corner, right? And they're going to force the player back. Not sure if that was a shotty anyways, but there was somebody right inside of that freezer. There's pre-firing around the corner here. Red Groove will take a bit of damage. A couple ticks off of the goo mine, as now you don't take damage by just stepping into one. Pengu's close to dying right now, and there's the kill from Kanto. A huge frag here as he's looking for the second. He's going to be able to fall back, still giving G2 an advantage.
Well, at this point, if they can continue to burn time, G2 could definitely pull this off, especially Citizen on such low health, just needs to just delay as long as possible. Goo mines are doing their job as well as slowing things down in terms of, you see quite a few of the members of Chaos stepping in and having to pull them out. There's also the Grismont mine doing a good job stalling that push. So this is actually looking pretty good from G2, especially since so little map control in the way for Chaos here, as they're just really kind of now getting into the building. That's pretty slow. You see an air jab there as well to stop, and he rotates on the bar, so this is good, at least for that part of the push.
There's no top floor control though, unfortunate there for Chaos, but Renault's still gonna walk on in and find Citizen. Shot there with another one, long angle onto Cantor Rocketti from the bar. It leaves now 2 alive, Uno and Virtue. Goo mine should have already been deployed all around the site here at 25 seconds, but Shate will find Uno again. Does it even matter? Shate, the ex-world champion, is doing work against the spawn. He played with at least remnants of it in the past. Virtues will get one in the meantime. A 2v1, but Renault's walks on the site again and slaps Virtue down. Man, the Nords are doing it again.
Is that a way of saying nerds?
The Nords, not
the Nords. Well,
the Lords, the Banner Lords, the Nords in this case.
Oh man, they are doing quite well. Whew. this is still, again, G2's kryptonite, man. They just cannot seem to get ahead on a team like Chaos. So not a big deal really for G2, but certainly not what they want to be doing with this new squad in terms of the new players, the new style. But again, they're not winning a lot of gunfights, to be honest. They're certainly not trading effectively. Great attempt by Virtue at the end of that round, but just way too many players left. If G2 were trading like at least somewhat decently, there would have been a lot less players to deal with, and I think Virtue could have clutched that out. But this is such a struggle. G2, while they had such a great start to that round, just couldn't hold out in the end. Their aggression working ultimately against them. And honestly, Chaos looks very confident in their pushes, despite the fact that G2 are playing very aggressive counter to it. So, I mean, Chaos, they really seem in control on this map here.
So how do you drive this one home if you're Chaos? They're gonna be bringing that Thermite again. Shot bringing the Zofia. Honestly, I really think that Zofia was the missing link, and G2 did not bring her one. Number two, they focused on the Jackal to deal with the roamers, but I think the Nomad is a better pick in this case. You can bring the Jackal for the extra flexibility and having the shotgun secondary, but I don't think that was what Chaos were gonna be, you know, shut down with in G2's initial attacking rounds.
Well, at least the Nomad's not doing a ton to stop the members of G2, so there is that. They are able to move around the map relatively flexibly, but their jumps are at least giving off information when they get triggered. We heard some triggered last round, for example. Did we even finish getting the hatch open there? Well, either way, they are going to have to Wamai this round. There's quite a bit of C4 on the board as well, and I think that was part of the problem last round, is they had to go for gunfights because they didn't have any throwables outside of impacts to try and fight back. They will definitely have more this round. Virtue playing the pulse that we saw, I believe, from Uno previously on the reading defense.
Well, there's the quick peek. Citizen takes a bit of damage. Have all the ADSs and tricks and discs out. Yeah, they've been cleared. No, there you go. There's another disc, and yet another one will be thrown out. It's gonna be caught. 2 grenades off and demolished, but at least they'll be able to hit the shield.
Well, that's the important thing there, is clearing that utility so you're able to get control now. A minute 30 or so left. Decent start to the round. Then would have been better if they were able to finish off, so to say, but either way, pretty good for Chaos. Considering how these rounds have been going down, this is looking like a round they can definitely take. The interesting soft wall there, they can open up as well with that buck if they want to get extra angles on the freezer. But in the meantime, veto goes down, so that is the buck I just mentioned. Nice, well played by Citizen. Kanto also following it up secretly. G2 pushing back very, very hard here.
Just shutting everybody down inside of that white hallway, and Shot is going to start moving up close. They should be able to hear him. Here's him shuffling and making a lot of noise. There's shotgun around the corner to finish him off. Looks like somebody from G2 is awaiting. A bit of damage from an SMG-11 comes in as Red Groove is holding from Skylight. There's not, well, there actually is a lot of time left, but I wonder how much utility is left in here. Shate still has all of his stuns and his 2 RG bots. Red Groove has nothing really left for him anymore. So air jabs are done. Shate will find Kanto Raketti. It's a 4 versus the 2 now of Chaos. Citizen still having taken that damage earlier on in the round. Utility being used, unfortunately, is being picked off by those Wamai discs that are placed everywhere. Yet another one. Both of the stuns have been picked up. Red Groove taking a lot of damage from Uno on the cross angle, and ADSing not fast enough on that AUG, and seems like a lot of things blew up at the same time, but Virtue will collect the kill, the UMP. G2 still fighting back.
Great pushback from G2 that round. Just so much better at their gunfights, especially White Hallway has absolutely worked out in their favor. Chaos continually throw body after body at that White Hallway to try and fight back, and it really didn't work out for them. Obviously G2, when they could just fire down a straight line, are seeming to hit the shots a lot better than when Chaos are able to come at them from multiple angles. That's what they need to be doing here, it seems, is creating these choke points and doing a good job delaying up till then forcing Chaos to play G2's game. But now they're going to go down to reading. This is where there's some vertical control possible. See if they can push back equally well here on the top floor, because that's something we saw, G2 playing with a different attack style, going for dining instead of going for reading. See if Chaos can just get that top floor control and push down, or also go for a similar dining push. They're going to be bringing that thermite, which again they can use to open up some of the walls, depending on how G2 plays that. So G2 possible to bring this back here, but honestly the way Chaos are playing this, I see possible 7-4, 7-5 here coming out from Chaos. I think they win this at the end.
Man, what was it? 89%? 89% of people thought G2 would win. Where are you at now, huh? Can't hear it, chat. I don't think we can ever hear them, to be honest, and I think that's for the better things. You know, imagine if we could hear chat when we were casting, like actually hear people. That would be awful.
No, please no.
Well, G2 now still fighting back. The max they can get out of this game is if they win the next 2 rounds and make it a 6-6 to get 1 point possibility. But again, Chaos only need to win 1, and that'll be it. In prep phase, Chaos have taken 0 drone casualties, which is important. I want to correct myself, by the way. When that drone light next to it is on and it's white, it means that the drone is deployed. When it's gray, is in the back pocket. Might have mixed it up before earlier on in this matchup, but just a correction, just in case.
Definitely important. Nice slow start here for Chaos. Just looking to get their intel on their drones, but a lot of the drones alive. That's a big difference as well. When we saw defense from G2, attack from G2 in previous rounds, they were losing just lots of drones on this attack. Seems like Chaos are a lot more, I'd say, cautious in terms of the droning, making sure they're only droning as much as they need to, so they're not overextending those drones just to find player positions they can't actually act on just yet. So I appreciate that. And in terms of the resourcefulness, they're getting a lot better mileage out of those drones that they have. So good clear the shield early on, and then Renewal's taking out Uno as well. So that's a nice start. This is C4 off the board, as well as possibly if he had any drones captured, which I don't think he did, they were going to be lost. So
I wonder if this is an L in the books of G2, if they're just going to pick up one of Chaos's player after this one. Big shot tip.
Oh no.
Again, you know, it happens. It happens more often than you think. But
Shutey's playing quite well today, though.
Yeah, that's very true. That's why G2 would pick him up. But there's the walk-in from Veto. He's just checking inside of in front of him. Yeah, there you go. There's default cam taken out, so nobody players. And the drone will come in. Mute jammers have been placed all around of that fireplace. There's 2 of them on there. I'm not sure if Renault's caught anybody in the meantime playing downstairs by the bar, but Vito will be throwing 1 grenade out. Oh, a long angle from Citizen will hit Renault's on the head. And that's what's needed here for G2 to try and time things out. But again, that's an Ash being lost, and it's to a Jaeger downstairs. You just need to watch the rotations up from Brown and White stairs, and you can just go plant whenever you really want. If there was a smoke here, it would have been amazing, smoke canister, but you're just going to have to work with whatever you've got as G2, and there's no smoke as well to stop you from entering onto A, but there's the 200 IQ play. The Pulse is going to give out information, but Pengu's already dived in. He's found 2 kills and can't over the 3rd. All falling apart again for Chaos as Shate is left alive, and 1 rotating up downstairs will take a shot around the corner. Citizen will slap Shate down, turning into a round 11 victory. G2, it's a 6-5, and G2 are 1 away from a tie.
If G2 could play the next round like they played that round, that would definitely be an easy tie for them. Just because the initial beginning of the round was not great. Like, they were really kind of losing a lot of mileage early, losing a player, getting pushed back. But once they got pushed back and were able to hold positions, played a little bit less aggressive until they had intel coming out from the Pulse, then they played much better. And I think that's what G2 needed to learn, is trying to play aggressive defense the way Chaos was playing it isn't working out as great for them. I mean, they've had some mixed success on it, but overall, once they had additional intel and they were playing smart and finally had picked off some of the drones coming out from Chaos, it worked out much better that round. That was definitely a lot more controlled aggression, especially playing down here in Kitchen when you see that from them again. I like to see them defend Bakery, though, as well as we saw it from Chaos. They're going to be bringing the Bandit, despite the fact that Kaed is available, so interesting choice.
G2, are they going to play on that top floor of Rome? That's the big question. They need it, 100%. Maybe they can get 1 point out of it. See, the bar so far is empty. G2 are busy setting up the site down below. They're going to have a bandit battery, one of them at least, that's set on the freezer entrance into B. It should be the second hole, or the softball next to it opened up. Yeah, there's Pengu going for it, shotgunning the side of it. There's no rotation, oddly enough, from the kitchen. Thank you very much, Marcio, by the way. There's no rotation in where Citizen is right now into that red hallway and into red stairs. And the one rotation that is actually available, one in the back, one in the front, see walk in to Bakery. So G2 are looking to get in and out of the site, but Chaos are going to just walk on in. And is there a play? Yes, there is, but it's too slow from Kanto. Chaos have already found their important pick here, and they might have been able to bait G2 into an overreaction. They've already barreled down the hatches and brought everybody back on site. This default cam being sniped out as Chaos. We're going to slow down. This is very odd, to say the least, and it's catching G2 off guard.
Gotta say, Kanto was definitely not prepared for that rush. That worked out really well. They've even got a Claymore now to be able to cover an attempted rotates out. As I imagine, air jabs on top of that. They just see them being fired there. So Chaos, a great start, because now they've got 2 minutes left to work with, and they've got to get the prep wall open. There's the first exothermic, so they have one more to work with for the main. It's already open, so they're able to use that to do any kind of bandit trick here. All they've got to do is clear out what happened from Shate. They're going to have a lot of angles to work with. They just need to be able to catch G2 members when
they lost view drones here if your opponents are. It's very predictable. Set up for flank watch between red and white stairs. Otherwise, you're. And it looks like Virtue has rotated back down onto bar. You should be able to lock down that hallway solo. There's a drone to give out some information. Not sure if they're able to. And Vito's setting up maybe for a take in here. They're pre-firing around the corner, and Pengu's going to be dropped. Expected in that default position for the smoke on the floor. He's going to try to run on back and sit behind the reinforcement, but with 2 players now down and 2 still left, Force is an Udo. That shot from Vito. It's almost done here. Vito with another one on a Pengu to confirm the kill, and it's all on to Citizen. He'll get one on Red Groove. His position will be given away in the meantime as he tries to cross the long angle. No damage will be done to him, but he'll be able to pick up his teammate. Diffuser is going to get planted as the Ash will walk on out and rotate around to play the entry of Bakery. 32 seconds left, as now your locations are pretty much going to be tagged. If you walk in directly to site, you're going to get shot down. If you walk in from the angle, from the side, you're going to have to win some important gunfights. And look at where everybody from Chaos is. Do you even know what you can do against them? Yes, you can. Citizen wins it again secretly. It's a 2K, but Renault's on the shutdown again. Citizen is out. Virtual low HP. They know where you're at. Everybody is throwing out whatever they've got onto the other side of the site, and Renault is going to tap and tap away as Chaos will find the victory. A 7-5 W for the nerds, as people will call them, the nerds. It's Nords, but such a weird way of saying it.
Well, nicely done by Chaos. Really well played in terms of taking down such a frag-heavy team. That early start to that last round, though, really paid off. Getting in fast, killing Kanto behind the Bakery counter, gave them so much time to work with. Shate, as you can see, obviously we lost quite a few of the score, the kills from having to do the rehosts. So it's not going to be accurately reflecting the entire match. But I think overall, pretty much everyone on Chaos absolutely showed up. Kanto, I think, had a pretty good day overall, but it wasn't enough.
So unfortunate there, to say the least, for G2. But if you're Chaos, you are super happy right now. You're able to beat BDS. You had a good time today against the G2 big opponents. You beat them twice in the season, and in the past play day you tied with Vitality. I mean, you're looking pretty at the second half, I have to say. Chaos definitely impressed with an extra 3 points, and everybody's moving up. We were talking about this, Intero and I, the last playdate, that it might be where the big names in EUPL just don't win today, and we might restart this couple points fight between everybody very quickly.
And that's Chaos beating G2 twice as well, so they most definitely have the tiebreaker if it came down to it at the end. I mean, it may not, but it certainly is possible, especially if G2 can't consistently keep themselves up there in the top 2. They may have to fight for those middle spots against a team like Chaos, points-wise. And we saw, for example, a tie among all the bottom 4, which it's a rare thing to see, so it definitely shows that anyone from the bottom 4 has the potential to move up into the top 4, which means, G2, if they want to stay in that top 4, they really need to win a little bit more consistently. I think everyone was expecting, performance after we saw them against Empire so dominant. It just wasn't there today.
So we're just getting ready for an interview here. We'll just be ready to call it whenever it's ready. And should be secretly, we're ready for an interview. So Devin, I'll be back to you in just a couple of minutes. Tjenare secretly, I hope you can hear me.
Tjena. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, we're going to have a couple seconds of delay here to work with, but we should be fine regardless. So just to be sure, again, you're victorious against G2, a really big W today for you against this big team. You've been able to carry games pretty well together as a squad, I have to say. On your defense, though, on this map, it was so difficult for G2 to crack you, I have to say. You just sat down and you burned all their utility so correctly. I just want to know, that preparation to ban the Habana and leave the Mira open, was this something that you were kind of ready for?
Yeah, we had planned pretty much completely for these bans. The Hibana ban, we thought was like, if G2 is playing a breach on this map, it's probably the Hibana, right? So let's just take it away. We knew they probably wouldn't ban our Mira because we haven't showed it before in like other Kafe games. We probably even banned it ourselves. So we were just preparing to we'll play with Mira open. We will, we just prepared some new strats so that no matter what they scouted, it wouldn't actually matter that much. But in the end, I think, I don't know, it felt like they were just way slower than they usually are. So it's definitely a different G2 than what it used to be. And you can tell that they're still figuring stuff out.
Yeah, and you kind of expected the complete opposite, because everybody coming into this was saying, okay, G2, they're all, it's fragging team, they're going to be super fast, super heavy. But it wasn't really the case in this matchup, and you said it very well a couple seconds ago. So you look back at this, that final round, you guys got really close against G2, and yet you decided to just push in and grab an early kill. What was the information that was gathered that prompted you to take that first very fast move and then subsequently the whole round?
So basically we spotted last round that the guy who was playing in Bakery, he got there pretty slowly, he got there pretty late. And knowing G2, they would try to adapt to our previous push, right? So previously we did a VIP push and a garage push. So we thought, well, he's probably going to be even slower now, and they might have the rest of the team on the other side of the map trying to counter what we did previously. And well, turns out we were right. There was literally no one in Bakery once we got there. So we decided, all right, let's just go in, let's just take control of it. I think we managed to catch one of them rotating, he was late the way we expected him to be. And after that, it kind of it was a house of cards coming down on them, right? Because they gave us such a big area for free.
Yeah, very much. Well, again, congratulations on your victory secretly. You're gunning off of 2 victories so far in these 3 playdays. 1 tie against Vitality, a victory against BDS, now against G2. Anything you'd like to say to all the Chaos fans out there?
Thank you, guys. Hopefully now we'll be consistently good instead of consistently inconsistent. We made lots of improvements this season, as you can obviously tell. So thank you guys for cheering for us as usual, and I'll hopefully see you on Wednesday.
Thank you very much, secretly. Congratulations again, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Thank
Good
you.
night.